Welcome to Happy Redoubt.
The premise of the exhibition is that there's been some kind of global disaster. We came up with an idea of a technological disaster that affected the sort of infrastructure of technology. So it meant that people were generally kind of intact, but the technology that we normally rely on every day was no longer functioning in the usual way.
So visitors to the exhibition will find a marketplace set out for them to take part in. The marketplace is based upon trade, basically, and mainly the trade of skills and information. So bartering skills you might have in exchange for receiving currency that you can then use within the marketplace to buy things that other people might have made or things that have been left by the robot overlords who run the marketplace.
We were very keen to think differently about how we might use the spaces. Rather than a straightforward exhibition or a straightforward way of engaging with the public, we thought it would be interesting to have some artists to come and have a residency in these spaces over a period of time and create work through that residency. So we approached Emma Underhill at Up Projects, who I've worked with before, in fact, and I know that Up Projects have a great deal of experience of working in partnership and, crucially, of challenging public perception of what art can be and what art in public spaces can be. So we talked to Emma about that ambition of finding a different way to use the spaces, to challenge us, to challenge the college, to challenge the public, and she came up with the idea of approaching Juneau Projects. So it was really out of that initial collaboration with Up Projects that the collaboration with Juneau Projects has arisen.
Before the crash, the whole world was a web, controlled by the cloud. Technology and those who had extensive knowledge of it dominated the world.
We were invited to look at the model of an artist in residence and see how that could work within the academic community here at King's. So we were looking at how a project could work with both the academics and students here and also provide a kind of public interface. So Juneau Projects seemed to be the perfect artist to do that.
The economy of the marketplace is based on trade and on earning currency. The currency comes in the form of necklaces, so as people earn more currency as they go around, they'll be walking around the show with more and more necklaces on. The way people earn the necklaces is through a variety of jobs and tasks that they can do. One of the main ways of earning currency is to paint up some more currency itself. So they come as blank wooden pendants, and the visitors to the show can paint 2 of those, and by painting 2 they earn 1 piece of currency. Through some of the other activities that are here in the show, things that have been developed by staff and students here at King's, those things also have currency attached to them. So for instance, there's a tree, which is a kind of energy sculpture idea, and you write a short line of verse, almost like a short piece of poetry. You put that on the tree and you can earn a currency necklace that way.
There is the Dead Tech Museum, which is a shrine to bits of technology that no longer function, and each piece of technology has been given a description alluding to its perceived use before the disaster.
We wanted to really play with kind of how memory changes over time, how kind of things are lost. So we wanted to kind of distort the descriptions and make them kind of accurate, but kind of slightly false in a way. So they'd be relating the actual description of the objects, but told in such a way that it just sounds a little bit funny. So CCTV, for example, stood for, I think, closed circuit theological vision instead of TV vision. So we had that kind of humorous, mischievous kind of tone to it as well.
Following that room, there is the room we're calling the wallpaper room, which features a number of stalls. One is the story by Emily Butterworth of the disaster that happened that you can contribute to. There's also a dead tech sale stall, so you can trade your tokens for pieces of technology. There's also a jewellery and necklace and statue store where you can buy objects with some of the currency that you've earned. Following that, there's the main ballroom. One of the main things in there is the I Ask information exchange, which functions like a kind of handwritten version of Wikipedia. So you leave a question and someone will answer that question for you, and at certain points the human Google will be there to answer your questions in person. As well as exchanging information in that room, you can also take part in robot racing, which is a fun game for all the family, involving 6 mini robots that race around the track, and you can bet on them for fun between yourselves, or if you have some currency, you can bet your currency and double your currency up if you win. The final end to the exhibition, there's one robot who's slightly different to all the other robots, who tells you a lot more about what happened in the disaster and a bit more about the world. It's a sort of solitary robot at the end of the exhibition that you can interact with as well.
A big part of this is the collaboration with the academics. So really the academics have been looking at presenting their research practice from the perspective of a post-apocalyptic marketplace or a post-digital world. And immediately that opens up all sorts of ideas and creative thinking. And there's been genuine engagement with the artists on this. And we feel that it's very much a way to move forward in how we work through projects at the Cultural Institute.
Throughout the exhibition, there is also a series of events and workshops, including one by Dr. Stephen Jones, who is running a performance which is a ritual for forgetting. And the idea is that people come in and they take part in this ritual and they use it to then forget technology, to free themselves from the confines of technology that we might be experiencing today.
Really, my past research has been around vision and the loss of vision and blindness. So in some respects there are parallels. And so there is this aspect of loss here which does parallel the sorts of things that we've really incorporated into the ceremony. And at this hour we can finally forget this language of our regrets.
We're also working with Dr. Emily Butterworth on a discussion event which is called Rumour Mill Conversations, and it brings together people to talk about how information gets turned into myths, and it looks at how things that we talk about today might become myths in the future, and how gossip is generated, and also looking at that from this idea of being in the future and not having any technology available to us.
At the end of the event, we did an activity based on Chinese whispers, so in which some of the signs and portents that we'd been discussing were created. I created them into a very short narrative and started the chain off. And this narrative was kind of passed round the chain of participants who were all asked to change something. So unlike the ordinary game of Chinese whispers where you try to reproduce exactly what you've heard, here I was asking people to add something, to kind of recreate the work of rumour and gossip in passing a story on, extending it, elaborating it, changing it beyond all recognition, in fact, which is what happened in the event.
Before the apocalypse, there were 3 birds. They all went to the pub. Afterwards, one decided to get a kebab.
There's quite a wide range of events. There's an animation workshop using red, green and blue lights that strobe between the 3 colours. And you can make very simple 3-frame animations using pink, blue and yellow pens.
I think one of the nice things about this activity is that it seems very easy for people to understand straight away. They don't need too much explanation. They can see the examples and see how they can have a go at it themselves.
I came 2 weeks ago, I think it was, to the robot racing, and we've come back to do the animation today, and it's been great fun for the kids especially, and the adults.
Cardboard Wars is a chance for people to make a cardboard costume and weapon and test their cardboard engineering skills against each other. There's been a really big turnout of people, and lots of people have made amazing armour, amazing shields, amazing weapons. And after everyone had finished making their costumes, we had a kind of battle royale style tournament where people tested the strength of their weapons against each other, kind of conquer style, until we had an ultimate winner who was our kind of ultimate cardboard fighter.
I just think it's amazing what you can do with some tape, some cardboard and some scissors.
They quite often spend time at home making cardboard shields and weapons anyway, but I like the idea of it taking it up to another level.
Today has been our final event of Welcome to Happy Redoubt. It's a kind of culmination of all the various projects, events, workshops that have happened over the last 6 weeks. And it's had a focus really on the kind of robots that run the marketplace. So today's a sort of big thank you to the robots for all of their help and provision they've provided to all of the survivors that have come here over the 6 weeks. There's been a lot of different activities, all kind of robot related. So in the room here we've had Dixon leading robotic dancing sessions.
I was asked to come and teach robotic movements, which is part of a dance style which I do called popping. It's just really thinking like a robot and visualizing what you do.
In the other rooms, we've had lots of robot-related kind of craft activities. We've had roborigami, which is origami meets robotics to create moving foxes that kind of cheer up like birds. So that was exciting as well. And then plasticine robots, basically, you know, anything robot-related, we've had it today. The experience here at the Indigo Rooms has been a really good one. Although it's quite a kind of bleak world that we've set it in, it's been a really positive experience. It's been great having just different viewpoints coming in and looking at this idea that we're interested in. And yeah, the whole experience, the meeting people, working with them, it just kind of sort of makes it all worthwhile, really. It's sad it's coming to an end, but it's been a great kind of 6 weeks and a great kind of 6 months really working with everybody on the project.